raising your hand later and speaking with me, then we can all just chat in the chat box. Okay. And Mohammed, yes, all the recordings will be uploaded to YouTube, and I'm going to show you guys right now what we have going on here. So if you see my screen, I think you'll be okay. You can see my screen. So you probably could have found us through this blog post. This is the Road to Series 2, How to Buy Your First NFT blog post. We share this regularly every week because we want people to know what sessions we have. So currently in our sessions, we're covering the NFT 101s, how to actually buy an NFT. And within this blog post, you can see there are two links. One is when takes you to the education session schedule. And then the resources is the PowerPoint that I'm going to share with you in a little bit. And you'll be okay. Yes, if this is your first session, you're in good hands. We will make sure you're taken care of. And what I would like you guys to keep in mind while you're here for this session is just be selfish with, your questions, what you want to ask, like go all out. I want you to get as much value as you can out of these courses, these sessions, and that's what Gary wants as well. And that's what the whole VeeFriends team as well wants for you, is for you to really get nitty gritty with the basics so you can plunge into the NFT space, because we do believe NFTs are going to play a big part in society in the future. And we can explain that in a little bit, but I just want to give you guys that heads up that use this time wisely, because we are here for you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't to serve you. So we would love to hear as many questions as you may have. All right, so after you look at this blog post, I would click on the education session and it's going to pop up this spreadsheet. On this spreadsheet, you can see it has like a date in the top green section. And as you can see right in row 9, you can also see this green section. So these are basically the times that they're going to be run. This week, we kept it very similar to last week, where it was Tuesdays, Tuesdays from at 12 p.m. we had one, 8 p.m. we had one, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and we're currently at Thursday, 8 p.m. session for this week. And as you can see right here, we have Friday as well. So what's going to happen is you can see we will upload the presentation used for the session, and we will also include recording of each session. So you can see here, last week's recordings were all added to this spreadsheet. And Friday is missing, but that's okay, we can add them as well. And this week's as well, we will go ahead and add them. So when you come to the spreadsheet, I would say bookmark it, because we will be doing this for 8 weeks straight. As you can see, we have a lot of weeks to fill out. And each week, the content of the session may change. So as we get closer to Series 2, because we'll be launching Series 2 in April, we might change up the context of these sessions to make it more catered to okay, how do you actually buy, now that you learned how to set up everything you need to set up to buy an NFT, can you buy your first NFT? And could that be VeeFriends Series 2? So we want to make sure that we educate people in terms of all right, how do I actually buy a Series 2 token NFT if that's what I'm interested in? So bookmark this public sheet, and then we will always update at the end of the week over the weekend, and you'll then say great, next week we might still be talking about the same thing, and that's okay too. Meaning, if we're talking about the same thing, you can join and actually try and follow along and do the action, or you can just not join, and then when we start updating the context, then you can join again if you want to. Is there going to be a session where we talk about how to create an NFT? Rika, I'm not sure if we're actually going to cover how to create an NFT, just because that is something that kind of falls out of the realm of what we're trying to teach at this time. But I've already contacted other, brands or communities or other departments within Gary's world, like 137, which is a publishing brand. And I've asked them hey, there are a lot of individuals who are interested in how to actually create your own NFT. So there may be something like that as well. Yes, I'll go and grab it. And Corso, you can follow up later on if new people join. No problem. All right, so that is the sheet that you would want to bookmark for all future sessions. All right, let's get right into it. We are, how many people do we have today, everyone? I don't think I can see 47. Great. Thank you all 47 of you for being here. And 8 p.m. sessions are going to be a blast. Okay, so if this is your first time here, I would say try to soak in as much information as possible. You can try to, Omri, welcome back. You can try to follow along if you want, but we will only be covering certain videos that we are going to showcase. And then on top of that, all this information is available to you. We have a YouTube channel. So if you clicked on anything in the spreadsheet, like for example, you're like, all right, let me just click on this YouTube video, right? If you click on this YouTube video, it will take you to our YouTube channel. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out a little bit. So when it takes you to our YouTube channel, what you can then do is, let me see if you'll let me scroll. If you click on the YouTube channel, you can go to VeeFriends. If you click on the VeeFriends, we won't tell Gary Dash. When you click on the YouTube like profile pic, it'll show you the VeeFriends homepage. Within the homepage, if you go to playlist, you can then see we have this playlist called Road to Series to How to Buy Your First NFT. This is all the walkthrough video tutorials that we have made for how to buy your first NFT. So I'm going to go and drop this here. This is an important link that you want to keep in mind. And this shows you everything you need to know before you buy your first NFT in terms of technical setup. Okay, so if you go back on the left-hand side, you can see Road to Series 2 education session recordings. This session included will be uploaded to this playlist, and then you can watch all of them in this playlist. Currently, it's all around the same material, so I think if you just watch one of these, you'll be okay. All right, now going back to our PowerPoint. Okay, so what I'm going to cover is how to buy your first NFT, okay? And if this is your first session, this will be good stuff. So what is a non-fungible token? A non-fungible token, also known as an NFT, is a unique digital asset that exists in a variety of different industries, from digital art, virtual real estate, to collectibles, gaming, and more. The reason why they're important is because they accomplish 6 different things. They're authentic, they're indivisible, they're unique, transferable, ownership, and provenance. Okay, the reason why this will matter in the future is because you can think of, like right now, we live in a very central, controlled world where, there's always going to be a middleman. There's a government that controls fiat money, right? But with like NFTs, with the blockchain, everything that we're talking about is more or less decentralized. What decentralized means is there is no one central entity that will then control resources or then will, be the authority to make sure everything is running okay. A decentralized world is where, there's different entities or different individuals or users that will hold the trust system that will then make sure that everything is running and functioning in a decentralized manner. So why do NFTs actually matter is because you can think of NFTs as digital receipts that actually can prove their uniqueness through the blockchain. Okay, following along a little bit. Okay, so what does that actually mean? So for example, in order for you to sell a house now, you have to go through a lot of different middlemans, right? You have to find a listing agent that's willing to list your house. You then want to maybe like send your house deeds, your papers, your physical house deeds through different entities, and you have to drive it around, make sure like it can get to the right person. Now with NFTs, because they act as a digital receipt with a unique, ID behind each and every one of them, your house deed can actually become an NFT, right? When your house deed becomes an NFT, then you don't need to physically hand it off person to person. You can then digitally hand it off, and you don't have to be scared of like, oh, what if it gets damaged? What if it gets replicated? What if there's a fake online? Because blockchain then holds the technology to make sure these digital receipts matter and they actually show uniqueness, which is provided in bullet 1 and 3. Okay. On top of that, within NFTs, there's something called a smart contract. Smart contract is kind of misleading. Like smart contracts don't mean it's an actual contract where you can, like, oh, someone's going to sign in. I'm going to get a nice piece of paper, a PDF file that's going to tell me what's in my contract. A smart contract is actually just lines of code that allow for, like unique transactions to happen. How I like to think about smart contracts within the NFT is like a vending machine. It's very automatic, meaning like the vending machine will take the money, it will store it, it'll read the money, and they'll be like, okay, great. This value, I will now spit out, a snack. I'll now spit out something. So a smart contract acts in the same way as it can automate certain functions. And that's why with NFTs, it can then like automate certain functionalities that is embedded within the NFT itself. Okay, so I think NFTs in the future will take on a lot of different industries and will then, really delete middlemen as well as, being able to provide virtual authenticity to a lot of things that will be created. So some examples are like house deeds. Another example that I have is a current startup that I know of that is residing in Brooklyn. They use, NFTs. They use the blockchain to show how organic is a piece of food that you're going to receive. So right now you think organic is, oh, I go to a store, it says organic, I know it's organic, right? But do you actually know it's organic? You don't, because you just trust the labels. But with the blockchain and NFT technology, you can then say like, okay, great. I scan my NFT, my little barcode, and it shows like, hey, it was from point A to point B. It goes through all these different hands, but you can actually tell like, oh, the authenticity and the provenance of this piece of produce that's going to travel to you is actually authentic and organic. Make sense? Cool. All right, moving on. So that's kind of just like the macro thesis of NFTs and why, it is going to matter in the future. Now, for our purposes, there's a couple of things you need to think of. In order for you to buy an NFT, now you're excited, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to get into NFTs. And like everything I'm talking about is like something that can be applied in the future. Right now in the NFT space, a lot of it is about collectability. That's just where the space is right now. I think the reason why I would say like, hey, dive in the space now, get comfortable with it, is because you are part of the 1% that knows about it right now. You have that first mover advantage. You will be well educated in terms of like, great, like, you can then quickly learn about other things when they come out, but using this time now to be the 1% that learns about these things early, I think will give you an advantage in the field, or, like later on, like companies are going to start implementing these things. So like, I think jobs will start coming up more in terms of like who understands Web3 and all that fun stuff. And right now what we're doing is just a very, very small portion of what NFTs can stand for. So right now, NFT world, you may have heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club, you may have heard of VeeFriends, you may have heard of other NFT projects, and you're just like, man, it's just a profile picture like that, like we're going to freaking war, like Ukraine, Russia, like why is this even important? Well, right now this space is around collectability, and you're right, like this is like very like first world type problem staff and like, like puzzles to solve. But I think if you're fortunate in this position to actually learn about these things now, it'll be very beneficial for you in your future career and just being ahead of the game and more opportunities to come your way. Okay, so with that in mind, how do I actually buy my first NFT? In order for you to buy your first NFT, you need a crypto wallet. A crypto wallet is like it's literally like a wallet that's just like, on the blockchain. It's like you can't see it or feel it, but it is a wallet. So in order to use crypto, you need a wallet to hold these assets. Okay. Now, on top of that, I will ask you all, and I'm not going to force anyone, but I'll ask Nick to repeat after me. I will never give out my secret phrase. Okay. Nick is like, okay, May. Like,
I will never give out my secret phrase.
All right. The reason why Nick can unmute is because he works for VeeFriends and he's my co-host. So thank you, Nick, for entertaining me. But if you didn't say that, I'm going to hold you accountable. This is so crucial to everything we're trying to teach you. We're not trying to scare you away from the NFT space, but there are so many scams, so many social engineering, people trying to understand what you like, what you would click on. And there's just a lot of bad actors in the space that will want your secret phrase. And this is the only thing they're after. Teresa, yeah, exactly. So, Teresa, thank goodness, I think there was nothing in your wallet, the last time we checked and talked about it, but there are people that will want this information, and it's so hard to prevent it without actually getting educated that, hey, you should really never give this away to your best friend and to your worst enemy. You should never give this secret phrase away, okay? On top of that, within wallets, there's something called a software wallet, which is a hot wallet that's always connected to the internet, which is kind of like the basics of everyone actually owns a hardware wallet, like a software wallet, a hot wallet. And then there's something called a hardware wallet, which is a cold wallet, which is never really connected to the internet and can be a safer option. Omri is 100% correct. If you are adventuring into Discord, you want to make sure you're not clicking on any DMs, not clicking on any links. Like that's one place that people are easily being scammed. Okay. All right. So we talked about, the three things. You need a crypto wallet to buy, to use crypto. 2, secret phrases is like your social security number. It's like your bank PIN. You will never share it. If you share that, they can drain your wallet and everything's gone. Okay. And then 3, there's something called a software wallet and a software wallet and a hardware wallet, also known as hot wallet or a cold wallet. Okay. These are the 3 things you want to know for a crypto wallet. Now, with software wallets, hot wallets, it's probably the easiest way for you to buy a NFT. So with hot wallets, we would recommend, not we would recommend, but I am the most comfortable with a MetaMask. MetaMask has 3 million active users monthly, 10 million total downloads. It's widely used. The security isn't as good as you want it to be, but it's the most widely used wallet that can then help you buy an NFT. On top of that, there's other options such as Coinbase, Wallet Connect, Rainbow, Trust Wallet. These are all viable options, and I would implore you to do more homework. Gary always says like, oh, you have to do 50 hours of homework before you even think about buying your first NFT. This session can probably get you like, I don't know. I mean, it's an hour, but I think it can get you like 5 hours there. So you have to do the other 45. And I think we're just pushing you in the right direction. Okay. So MetaMask is kind of like our go-to hardware wallet just because it is used with a lot of different projects. It's kind of like, everyone knows what it is, a MetaMask, right? All right. Popular hardware wallets, which is a cold wallet. Cold wallets are not connected to the internet. Corso, do you have your cold wallet? No, you don't have it.
No, it's in my safe.
See, all right. Yeah, Corso's being very, very careful, So a hardware wallet is actually a physical device. It looks like a USB, it's like pretty slim, nifty looking. If you have some people's bank accounts, like they will distribute a USB where you have to like double click it to approve a transaction for your bank account. Those things do exist. And this hardware wallet is the same aspect. A hardware wallet is a physical device that you have to physically give permission to enable a transaction within within NFTs. So having a hardware wallet, I would say strongly recommend, but I would also say you must use it. Just because we're so early in NFTs, everyone's being scammed, everyone's being tricked. That's just a really good extra layer of security for you to have, for you to be safe. So I would strongly recommend it. If not, I would say like you must have it. Just because like if you don't love yourself, you wouldn't get hardware wallet. If you don't love your NFTs, then you wouldn't get hardware wallet, right? So Rika asked, and Corso will get to you on this question, but do we use both kinds of wallets always? Rika, I think that's a good question. Corso will give his answer because he's actually more advanced in hardware wallets than I am. But I would say, Corso, what do you think of this question actually?
So basically the hardware wallet will be more of like a storage where you keep your most valuable stuff. And the MetaMask, which is the software wallet, is something you would use if you're going to be buying things or pretty much just buying things is what I use mine for. And then the storage is my hardware wallet.
So you can use both simultaneously.
Yeah.
Rika, actually Ritika, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. You can come up and yell at us later when we allow you to unmute. All right, cool. So the other thing I would say about hardware wallets, and the reason why we want to stay on this a little bit longer, is you want to buy from the official sources, the official websites of these 2 accounts or these 2 like brands. I would say Ledger is more widely used. It's a lot easier to use, so I would recommend Ledger. And Corso is going to drop the Ledger website here. The reason why you don't want to buy from like Best Buy or Amazon or any third-party sources is there is a chance that someone could actually take away, the security from these hardware wallets, because these hardware wallets also come with a secret phrase. So it's like a MetaMask, it's like a hot wallet. They all come with a secret phrase that's like the bank PIN. Okay. So buying from the official website gives you that, just like that ease of mind that, hey, you are not getting something that's been tampered with. Okay. So you want to make sure you buy from the official websites. The other thing about scams is, Corso just gave you this website. A scammer could give you something like this. Okay. Don't click on that, but that's actually an eye. It says Ledger. It's like spelled the same way, but it's like iedger.com. And if you're not, accustomed to scams, you could easily click on that site and then be brought to a fake website that looks exactly like the Ledger website. And it might be like, hey, log in with your hot wallet because we just want to know your secret phrase. And you're like, well, I think that's right. And then you might sign to, because like just by looking at this, you can't tell the difference. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're always being very, very careful of which website you're logging into or giving away your secret phrase to. You should never be giving away your secret phrase anyways. And you should always bookmark the appropriate official websites so you don't accidentally click on something that's fake. Okay. All right, cool. Moving on. All right, next up, desktop versus mobile. In Web 2, everyone's like, hey, we're gonna use, our our mobile device because we're there. Technology is there where everything can be done off phone. However, with Web3, the tech is not there. So we would strongly suggest using desktop first as a beginner because desktops are a lot easier to use, easiest in navigation. I think you're a little more careful on desktop because the font is a little bit bigger and it is more secure. And a lot of different projects are being launched, and you can really just like buy it or mint it. Minting is like buying a new project through desktop. Is like the safest way to do so. Mobile is, you can use mobile, they have mobile apps. We would say it's like expert mode. If you want to use mobile, you definitely should get very, very familiar with desktop before you adventure into mobile land. Okay. Cody said, rule of thumb, always type something out yourself in Google, and there are websites that mask URLs to something else. Yes. Cody, if you want to provide some examples, that would be great, because I was kind of confused while I was reading that. So I think, it would be great if you could share your knowledge with us. All right, how to set up a crypto wallet. So this is going to be kind of like your step one in your NFT journey, is setting up this MetaMask. So I'm currently on iPad with a wireless keyboard and mouse. Jay, I think iPad is going to be similar to mobile. I think desktop is good, but like honestly, if you just have an iPad, I would still make do, but I would just be extra careful what you're reading, what you're signing, what you're clicking on. Just be careful. I think you'll be okay, but it's just like preferred. Jasmine, the need for a VPN, I'm not sure. VPN is definitely like, I think that's like 2.0, Jasmine, but feel free to drop in like your knowledge and then like everyone can read it. We're a small tight group here, and I think everyone would enjoy that knowledge as well. But in terms of VPN, if you're asking like, hey, do you actually need one? You can use one. It is more secure, but at the same time, I don't think you necessarily like need a VPN. I don't have one. Corso, do you have one? No. So I think it's definitely not like 1.0. I think that's definitely 2.0. Yep, no problem. All right, so we're gonna watch this video together. This is kind of like the baby step one that you want to do for buying your first NFT. And then from there, every other video, I'm gonna start like skipping things and just talking a little bit faster, because those you can watch on your own. They're available to you through the playlist I shared earlier, and you'll be okay. You'll be on your merry way. But let's watch this video together. Okay, I actually should do this. One sec. Okay. All right, you should see my screen again, right? Okay, so we're gonna go and click on this.
Download and add the MetaMask wallet extension to our Google Chrome browser. We're going to use MetaMask because it's the most widely used wallet. There's other wallets available, but for our demonstration purposes, MetaMask is what we chose. So the first thing we're going to do is go to metamask.io, which is the website that you can download the extension. Always double check the URL whenever you're downloading or connecting your wallet to any site. We're very early into Web 3.0, and one of the exploits that people use is creating a site that looks almost identical to a site that you're trying to go to, and then being able to exploit you that way. So make sure it's the correct URL, the correct .io, not .com or .org in circumstances. So we're at metamask.io, which is proper. And we're going to go to the top right, and we're going to hit download. You can see the supported browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Brave, and Edge. We're going with the most user-friendly in my experience, which is going to be Chrome. You can see that on the top, it is already prompted us to use Chrome. There's a tab for iOS and Android, but once again, we're going to go with the easiest, which is going to be Chrome on our desktop. They do have mobile, but it is it's less buggy and it's a much easier experience with desktop and Chrome. So that's what we're suggesting here. So it's going to say install MetaMask for Chrome. And it's going to bring us to the Chrome Web Store. And we want to add to Chrome. And we want to make sure it's the correct one, which it is. And you'll see a video on the bottom from the MetaMask team. And we always suggest getting as much information as possible. And add the extension. So we can navigate away from the Chrome store. See the extensions tab, and we want to actually add it to the top bar. So we'll click that and then pin it, and now you can see the cute little fox on the top right there. So once we click there, we want to open up the MetaMask site, and you'll be able to see that we go to MetaMask and that we can get started. But first, check out that the fox will follow our mouse. So get started. And here you have two options. We're going to use yes, let's get set up. That's for someone with no wallet or anything like that. The other option, no, I already have a secret recovery phrase, is if you've already set up a wallet, which for our purposes, you have not. So let's get set up. Help us improve MetaMask. I would read through this. Do your own research. It's not going to be giving your information, exposing you in any way. So I clicked agree, but check it out and read it yourself. We'll create a password. And with this password, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. I don't like to keep my passwords or recovery phrase on my computer. We'll get to that in the security section, but let's click that and move forward. So now that we have this password, we're going to go to secure your wallet here. So let's take a little bit of time to talk about what a secret recovery phrase is. It's a 12-word phrase that is your master key to your wallet and your funds. So I can't stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. Everyone wants it. Every scammer is going to be trying to get it. You might hear seed phrase. It was called seed phrase before secret recovery phrase, but it's basically the same terminology. So you're going to be writing this down on a piece of paper, not keeping it on your computer because it can get exploited. And I'd write it on a couple of pieces of paper and put it in a couple of different places. And then you would want to watch this video and read the information on this little tab. But I want to stress how important it is. It's your bank information. It's your social security number. It's if they have access to your wallet and your seed recovery phrase, they have access to everything in your wallet and all your NFTs, all your funds, and hopefully all your NFTs are going to be valuable and precious to you. So we want to make sure that you're as safe as possible. And let's hit next. So secret recovery phrase, once we click here, for our purposes, we'll show it because this is just kind of a test. But once we click this, it shows you the 12 words, the holy grail of your password. So make sure you write this down on a piece of paper a couple of times exactly in the order that it is. If you lose this, you lose everything. And if you give this up, you give up everything. So I'm hoping that I am stressing this enough for you. We want to write this stuff down. We're going to need that. But some tips on the right. Store this phrase in a password manager. Like I would not do that. Write this on a piece of paper. I would do that. Memorize this phrase. I have people that memorize it. Just be careful. If you memorize it, you might be quick to use it. So you always want to you want your brain to always know if someone asks for that, you want everything to come to a screeching halt. But here, let's confirm that exactly how we saw it on the page before. And I'll take this time to continually stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. So, always make sure that you're keeping it safe, please. We will talk about it in security, but like pretty much no one will ever ask you for your secret recovery phrase. A website will not ask you. So if any website does, even if it's Firefox, there's potentially an exploit there. Everything should come to a complete halt in your mind, and you want to reset and make sure everything is safe. Never give it up. So congratulations. You've downloaded and added the extension to Google Chrome. You've done it. You now have a wallet, and we're very, very proud. So read through all the information, and we want to click I'm done here, and then we'll go check out the wallet a little bit. So it's just saying what's new. They're talking a little bit about where transactions are easier to read. But in your wallet, you're basically going to be looking at your options here: buy, send, swap. Those are all going to be like kind of third-party, things. But the most important, I would say, is under account 1 is going to be your public wallet address, which you're going to be giving that to people that you want to send money to, or if they want to send you something. It's not a secret or anything like that. You can give that out pretty regularly, and it's not a problem. But let's go to buy. You can deposit ETH through here. Like I said, these are third-party apps, so we'll go over that a little bit. But send, you would put in, if you wanted to send money to somebody like me, you could put my wallet address in there. And then if you want to swap ETH for a different token, you can as well there. So those are basically the pretty standard options for your wallet. On the bottom there, it says assets and activity. So assets, when you get something, you'll see it. And then activity, it'll show you that as well. We'll go over that more a little bit later. And then you can see, you can create a new wallet. You can set up your hardware wallet. And there's different networks. All things we'll go over. But I do want to stress how lovely it's been setting up the wallet with you.
All right, great. So that was Joe's explanation of how to set up your MetaMask. I would encourage you to watch this again. We're throwing a lot of info at you, so I applaud everyone here for being a trooper and trying to listen and take notes. But this is a lot of information if this is your first time hearing about this. So take your time. Everything here is available for you to view on your own on YouTube. So that is available to you. So we're going to go ahead and move on.
Today we're going to learn how to download and add the MetaMask wallet extension to our Google Chrome.
Okay. All right. So right here you can see how to buy your. So now that you have a crypto wallet, a MetaMask, right? You have that set up. Now you want to know where do I get my crypto money to put it in my crypto wallet for me to buy my NFTs, right? So for you to do that, you will need to, and this is just more recommended. We recommend setting up a separate exchange account. These exchanges are where you turn your fiat money into, crypto money. So you use the exchanges to change fiat into crypto, and then you transfer that money into your crypto wallet. Once your crypto wallet is funded, then you can go buy an NFT. Okay, so with exchanges, the one we use is Coinbase. There are other options out there. I believe Binance has a US and international option, but Coinbase is very, very regularly used in the US. They have, a ton of users. So I would say it's a very, very safe exchange site to use as well. And there are other options, and that's where we encourage everyone to do their own homework. But here in this course, we will use Coinbase as the example. Okay. All right. So for videos like such, yeah, William, of course, I will definitely get to your question there. So within this video, Joe is basically walking through what are the exact steps needed to set up an exchange account. Okay. So you can see here, like, we don't need to go too deep into this, but it's very self-explanatory, very straightforward. It will ask for certain information that you will then input. They will then ask you to verify it through different means, right? And then when you actually log everything in and put in the needed information, it will take you to this nice looking screen right here. This is the account settings screen. As you can see, the UX UI is laid out really well. It's very sleek, very easy to understand. So what you see here is you have level 1, level 2, level 3 verification. You can see level 1 was phone number. Level 2 is personal information, which this account has set up. And on the right-hand side, you can then see what are the limits on this account, right? Because I didn't do level 3 verification of verifying my ID, my photo ID, on the right-hand side, I cannot send or receive cryptocurrency. So you want to make sure that you do complete level 3, which is giving them your photo ID. Then this will be lifted, and then you can see like, okay, great, I can do bank purchase of how much. I can do certain amounts of purchase, but by making sure that your verification level is set. The other thing to keep in mind when you do create an exchange account, the first 1 or 2 times when you do try to put money in, try to exchange fiat money for cryptocurrency on the exchange, it will take a couple more days than what it says on its terms and services. So for example, this is great. Okay, great. This is sleek, nice looking, woohoo. Now we come here. This is the kind of like the duration of how long it takes for you to deposit fiat into exchanging it for cryptocurrency. As you can see, like bank account ACH takes 3 to 5 days. However, for a very new account, because these different platforms want to establish the trust, it might take longer. It may take up to 7 business days. So just keep these things in mind as you plan to buy your first NFT. The reason why these matter is because in NFT land, I don't know, like William might learn about this drop from Nick today. And then William might be like, oh my gosh, it's going to, drop tomorrow. It's launching tomorrow. I want to buy it tomorrow. But because you don't have a Coinbase account set up, or you don't have certain accounts set up, you cannot change your fiat money into cryptocurrency fast enough for you to pull, for you to make that purchase. So this is why we're teaching everyone like so far ahead of VeeFriends Series 2, is because it does take some time to get everything set up properly. And we want you to be able to do it in a safe, confident manner without having to rush through anything to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to click on everything I see. We recommend everyone read everything, take it nice and slow. We're not going anywhere. VeeFriends Series 2 isn't launching until April. So we have time to make sure we're doing the right steps. Okay. So this is just good homework to have. Every platform has different, I would say, like exchange speed. So just make sure you read through these things on their website to make sure you are aware of what's happening. Okay. Now that you have 1, you have your exchange account. 2, you have your crypto wallet. Now it's how do I actually get the money in my exchange that I transfer, like my deposit of fiat into cryptocurrency. Now, how do I actually get that into my MetaMask so I can buy my first NFT? So if we watch this video pretty fast, I'm going to skip around a bit because this is available to you. And I feel like, these are things you want to like slow it down, watch it 5 times. What I would say is like, for this example, this account is ready to go. All right. Joe's going to go ahead and put $250. That's how much he's going to transfer here, right? He's buying Ethereum and he's paying with his Wells Fargo account. Okay. He's going to go ahead and make that purchase. When you make that order, you can see $250 equates to 0.07 ETH back, when this was filmed in February 10th, I believe. So just keep in mind, there is fluctuation of when ETH is more expensive, cheaper. This is all things you can look up by just Googling. And I would just say like, okay, great. If ETH right now is, I don't know, like if right now, right here, the price is 3,000, I think right now the price is like 2,400. It's pretty low. So that's a good arbitrage. It means you'll get more ETH for your fiat if right now you deposit 250. Okay, so like keep in mind some of these like exchanges and the exchange rates before you make these purchases. So right here, great, $250 equates to 0.076. Coinbase has a low fee right here. I want to make it happen. and we're going to click go. We're going to make the transaction happen. Once the transaction goes through, you can see now this account on Coinbase has $251 because, the account had some other stuff in it too. But you can see it's now translated into the Coinbase account. So now that your fiat money has become cryptocurrency on Coinbase, the exchange, we are now going to move this Coinbase exchange cryptocurrency into our MetaMask, because you need to put in a crypto wallet to then use it. So you can see here, Joe pulls down his little MetaMask, and what you want to take from your MetaMask is this little red box. This is your public wallet address. This is kind of like your address in real life. Like, people need to know where to send something to. The blockchain needs to know where to send something to. So this is where it would send it to, is through this public wallet address right here. Okay, so now that we know our public wallet address, we're going to go ahead and click on send and receive. And I'm going to go ahead and say send. I want to send everything, all the Ethereum I have, which is $245, because you got to minus the fees that Coinbase took away. So you want to take this $245 and you want to then send it to your Ethereum address. Okay, this Ethereum address is your public wallet address. A quick note and a reminder is in Web3, actions, or sorry, not Web3, in NFTs, actions are non-reversible. So if you send this amount to the wrong wallet address, someone has to be really, really nice to give it back, right? And like, you might not even be able to hunt that person down. So you always want to just like copy, once you copy it, you want to double check all the numbers line up. I think typing is a little risky because just one letter, one number off, you can send it to the wrong person. So you want to make sure that you are copying these things, letter, word, number per number, and making sure that it is correct. Once you hit continue, something that I want to note here is this thing right here, this fee called the network fee. On Coinbase, it's called network fee, but everywhere else, it's called a gas fee. A gas fee is what you can never avoid it. It will always be there. You can think about like a tax, like it's always going to be there. So a gas fee / network fee is something you will always need to pay when you do a transaction on in NFTs, especially on what we call layer 1, which is mainnet, which is like a lot of NFTs, like most NFTs are in layer 1 mainnet. So they all require gas fees. All right. So the other thing to know about this gas fee network fee is, let's say, like Cody decides to go buy an NFT tomorrow. If he pays, and he goes buys, something that's just about to launch. So it's launching tomorrow. Cody runs over there, he's like, all right, I'm going to buy this thing. If you put in, let's say it's a one item, right? Cody wants to buy it, Corso wants to buy it. Both of them have to purchase it by giving gas fees, because this fee is what you give to the blockchain in order for this action to happen. All right, Cody goes for it, Corso goes for it. Cody ends up getting it, Corso doesn't get it. However, the gas fee that Corso paid to make this transaction happen, even though he didn't get it, you still will pay that fee. So just know, like, gas fees are always there. Even if you don't get your NFT, you might pay it when it comes to projects that are just launching. Okay, so just be careful about that, because gas fees are tricky things. Now, gas fees also are something that fluctuates all the time. Gas fees can be $20, they can be $2,000, it can be very, very expensive. And in this PowerPoint, in this presentation, we have a link that shows you where you can check gas fees in real time. Gas fees update every 15 seconds. So, you might want to look at it and be like, okay, like, my gosh, gas fees are $200. I mean, that's 20 bowls of Chipotle, that's a lot of money, right? So Olivia, good question. Who sets the gas fees? Gas fees is set by demand. You can think about it as like a Uber surcharge. Okay, so for example, if you go on Uber or Lyft, if you use one of these services, sometimes when it's really busy or when it's raining, then the charges go up. This is not something that's set, it's just set by demand. So let's say like everyone's trying to, buy something right now, the gas fees will be really high because it takes extra effort to push through your transaction. So it's like an Uber surcharge is how I like to think about it. Olivia, I hope that answers your question. Okay, we will continue. So we pay this network fee, this gas fee. If you pay more than one, you pay gas for each one. Of course, I'll let you answer that because you're more in the transaction sphere. Okay, so cool. We talked about gas fee, we talked about network fees. Now, this transaction happened. It took a little bit of time, but you can see this account has received the ETH 0.07. Great. Now your MetaMask has, the money. Now you have successfully put the money in your MetaMask, which is your crypto wallet that you're going to use to make purchases. Okay. Now, pop quiz, since I have you all here. Pop quiz number 1. If someone asks for your secret phrase, do you give it to them? Yes or no? Okay, Nachia's calling. Okay, Omri knows. Yep. Exactly. No. Nachi is like, no. Exactly. Never, ever give that out. Good job. Heck no. Of course not. All right. So good job, everyone. We're on the same page. All right. Question number 2. Pop quiz number 2. If you make a transaction on layer 1 Ethereum mainnet, which is like what we've been talking about right here, do you I'm trying to think how I word this question. I guess like do you have like here's the scenario. If you are trying to buy an NFT, right, that just launched, and you put your gas fees in it, and your gas fees disappear, and you don't get the NFT, could that scenario happen? Yes or no? Kaza, yes, yep, 100%, yep, exactly, cool. Yeah, super lame. I totally agree, everyone. Yep. Oh, yes, Drew brought up a good point. Yes, William is right. You pay gas no matter what. Exactly. Drew brought up good point. Let's say VeeFriends Series 2 launches tomorrow. And everyone here, there's 50 of us here. We all want to go get it. Now, because everyone's rushing to buy this certain item, it's called a gas war. And like it's bad timing that like it's what it is, what it's called. But yes, it could cause a gas war, which then means gas prices will go way up, and that can potentially lead to Scarlett might want to buy a VeeFriends Series 2, and then the VeeFriends Series 2 is marked under $1,000 in ETH, but your gas fees might be $2,000, right? So like then there's like a balance of like, okay, I don't want to mint now because like fuck that $2,000. Like I might just wait until it's $200 or $20, right? So there's always that fine balance, but always read what the gas fees are before you actually commit to it, because once you lose it, you lose it. All right, so that's that. Okay, so this is just another slide of the same graph that you saw earlier. It's because I don't get my VeeFriends Series 2. All right, so this is the same graph, and just something about like, hey, do your own homework. All right, just make sure you're always looking at these charts, making sure you understand everything before you pull the trigger is what we would always suggest. All right, now this how to buy your NFT, I'm not going to go too deep into it. Omri, I'll definitely answer that question after we're done here because I don't want to confuse anyone, is how to actually buy an NFT. This website that you see here, OpenSea.io, make sure the make sure the URL is correct. There's a lot of OpenSea fake websites. You want to go to OpenSea.io, not OpenSea.com, not OpenSea.net, OpenSea.io. Okay. OpenSea, you can think about it as the eBay of NFTs. It's the secondary market where all collections can live. Now you're like, okay, well, why is it secondary? What about if I just want to buy like the one from the start? Well, some projects can launch on OpenSea, but a lot of more reputable projects choose to create their own website and then conduct the mint, which is like what you call the fresh transaction when a project just launches. Once that project launches and then it goes on secondary market, it's not called a mint. Mint is only used for when you first get it from launch. That's called mint. So OpenSea is the website that is the eBay of NFTs. And then like, there's like different things you can explore on this website. But what I will say here is like, it actually shows you through the whole example of how to buy an actual NFT. So I would say you can watch this after you set up your MetaMask you set up your Coinbase, you get money transferred from Coinbase to MetaMask, then this is like step number 4, is you start watching this video and understand, okay, this is actually how someone buys something. Okay. All right. Now, the next question is great. I'm so happy, like Olivia got her NFT. Woo, everyone's celebrating. Now Olivia's like, hey, how do I actually see my NFT? Like, where does it go? Right? So your NFT is stored on the blockchain. It's public, viewable to everyone. Your wallet, not to confuse anyone at this point, but your wallet is more a key to the door of the blockchain. It's not actually a wallet. Your NFTs are not stored in this wallet. It just lives on the blockchain, and your MetaMask, your wallet, your crypto wallet is the key to open it and allow you to access it to do different transactions with it. Okay, makes sense. So that's something to think about. And if you're like, okay, well, I want to very easily view my NFTs, what you can do, there's 2 ways you can do it. One way is you can copy your public wallet address, and then you can put it onto like OpenSea as a little search bar, and it'll actually pull up the wallet. And then you can see like, okay, great. Like this is without even logging in. Someone that has like your public wallet address, and it's very common, this is not anything too scary. People can just copy your wallet address and they can see like, oh, great. I don't know, like, Olivia owns like, 10 NFTs, and then they can be able to see it, and you can be able to see it without having to log in. However, if you want like an easy way to carry on mobile, and I think this might work for the person that had the iPad, sorry, I don't remember her name, but you can then download the Rainbow Wallet app. It's a very nifty little UX, app that has great UX UI that then can show you your NFTs very nicely. So that's something to keep in mind on this slide. Okay, how to set up a hardware wallet. As we talked about earlier, in this class or in this session, we think hardware wallets are a must. Because if you love yourself, you would get one and you would protect your NFTs. It's not a bulletproof way of protecting your NFTs, but it's way, way better than just having a hot wallet. So this is video number 5. Video number 5 explains in an hour session done by David E., who's a reputable person in the VeeFriends community. He's so amazing. He took an hour of his time and he filmed this video, and it really shows you like every button you need to press, because hardware wallets aren't that intuitive. So when you get through setting everything up, buying your first NFT, really understand how to do that, I would go ahead and suggest watching this video and get yourself a hardware wallet to protect your hard-earned assets. Why don't we want to protect those things, right? So we want to make sure those are protected. Okay. So David, has a cute little face. Okay, we're gonna move on. Safety and vigilance. We've already talked about this a ton, but we can never stress it enough. If it's too good to be true in our world, it's too good to be true. Okay. Right here on the left-hand side, you can see time for series 2, VeeFriends today. They take all these like keywords, they make you say, reply yes, oh my gosh, claim it right now. They use urgency to try and trick you to make the transaction. So always be careful. What you want to do when you see an email is you want to click on the little like drop down and see who the sender is. Okay, there's a lot of like fakes. And as of now, VeeFriends will never send you a whitelist opportunity. VeeFriends will never say, congratulations, you want to VeeFriends through email. It's not how we operate. And this is the reason why, is because there's so many scams like this. Okay, so just make sure you're just double checking. Don't engage with these emails. Even if you do a simple reply to this email with a yes on the left-hand side, like reply by saying yes. You're like, May, that doesn't do anything. I just said yes. Well, now they actually know, oh, great, we actually tricked this person. We're going to do more social engineering and make them fall for more scams. They're going to target you in the future. So just don't interact with these fake emails. The best thing to do on the left-hand side, you have like a little 3 dots, report it, delete it, get it out of your system, and never interact with it. Okay. Anything in email that's like, hey, you want something, connect your wallet, I automatically go, it's a scam. Don't fall for this. Same in DMs. Someone, Cody, I think earlier, or someone else talked about DMs. It's tricky. Don't look at your DMs on Discord, nor Instagram too. I think it's getting flooded now too. So just be very careful on all the DM platforms. Random, too good to be true is too good to be true. On the right hand side, you got a little fake Gary Vee going on, All right. Oh, Omri, yes. And then VeeFriends token. Wow, this looks like the VeeFriends Instagram account. It has 15,000 followers. It might be them. Well, first of all, we have, I think we're over 200,000 now. So this is, like, what is this even, right? But the other thing I would say, like, it is super realistic. So you want to be careful if these things are reaching out to you. Gary's accounts are all verified, has a little blue check mark. Now that can be fake too, because some people like to just put the emoji next to their name or whatever. No biggie, Cody. But just make sure like you are looking at verified accounts. VeeFriends accounts are verified. Gary's accounts are verified. Never fall for this stuff. I would hate to see any of you fall for this after coming to the session. Oh my gosh, Nick, flex it. Let's go. All right. The most recent scam, it's an email form. You can see this. It says VeeFriends sent to like our good friend G here. It says it's time to VeeFriends. Like even the address is right. Yes, we're located in New York. We're located at 10 Hudson Yards. This is where VaynerMedia headquarters are, right? So all of this looks super real. However, I will tell you this is a scam because if you clicked on who actually is sending this, it's not going to be from at VeeFriends.com. It's going to be from, blah, 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 via XYZ, right? So there are a lot of scam opportunities here. And just know, we will never email you about a whitelist mint opportunity, okay? Whitelist is, if anyone who's confused about whitelist is basically just like a VIP list that allows you early access to minting a project. That's what we call a whitelist. Okay, now, when you get to be a little more advanced, oh my gosh, yeah. See, Kyle's showing us like these fake scams. And I know we're coming up to the hour mark. I'm sorry, I'm going a little slow today. I was just like, oh, we're a smaller group. We can go a little bit more detailed. So if you have to leave, this is recorded. If you have to go, feel free to leave. I know we just like blocked this for an hour, but we'll be around. I want to make sure like everyone here that's taking the time to be here with me today and Corso can get as much out of it as possible. All right, so next up, once you get a little more advanced, you're going to be like, man, I wonder what Gary owns because everything's public. If Gary's buying something, that must mean it's good. One, don't do that. Gary already says, very publicly, don't do it. Whatever he buys, it's different. I mean, Gary's freaking net worth is like so much more than ours, right? So he's buying something for different purposes. For him, spending like $1,000 might mean differently than how we spend $1,000. So never look at Gary's wallet as your North Star of like, oh, I'm going to buy what Gary buys because that's what's going to, like go to the moon, like that's what people like to say. So no, don't look at Gary's wallet. He doesn't buy things for the same purpose as we do. And we don't know why you buy a project, but Gary's wallet is not a good indicator. Two, there are ways for someone to airdrop you, which is like send you a random NFT without you even asking for it. Okay. So one, if you get one, before you go, yay, I got a free NFT, it potentially can be a scam. By dropping you an NFT and you interacting with that NFT, you could be prone to malicious attacks. So if you get a random NFT that you never asked for, that came out of the blue and you have no idea what it is, I would suggest you to hide it. There's an option for you to hide things on OpenSea once you get more familiar with it. But I would say hide it, never interact with it, and just leave it be. Because right now, the community doesn't even know how to actually interact with these random airdrops. But we do know people have been scammed out of it by interacting with it. So be very, very careful about that, okay? Now, back to Gary's wallet. People love to drop Gary random things because he's kind of like, we know Gary as like, oh, he's an entrepreneur. Like we love Gary's messages. But Gary in the Web3 space, he's kind of like I don't want to say a godfather, but he's a very notable figure in the Web3 like NFT space. And people love to just airdrop him random stuff and then say, look, Gary bought my project. Look, it's in his wallet. Like they use this to do fake promotions and try to pump up their own projects. And Gary hates it. Like it's tricking people. It's not being honest. And, you'll never win by doing that. So in this article, if you click, once you get to this presentation, you can click on this picture and it'll take you to an article that explains it in a little bit more detail. All right. Bye, Olivia. See you later. Everyone say bye to Olivia. All right. So last but not least, Google, if you know Gary, he likes this phrase, Google is your mother, right? He says that sometimes, you see that in his content. Well, Google is your mother in terms of like NFTs, right? Because there's so much knowledge that Google can help you find. This is where we can do the 5-hour homework, but we implore you to do the 45 more. And how do you best do that? I think Google is a great option. Discords are a great option. And then YouTube's a great option, right? So there's a lot of great options for you to learn more about NFTs. And we just want to encourage you to do more homework. This is not the one-stop shop for doing all the homework, but it is a good starting point. All right, and right here we have some key terms you should know about. Wallet address, the public wallet address, like I said, it's like your address in the blockchain. Like the blockchain needs to know where to send things, so they use the public wallet address. Gas, this is the link that we were talking about earlier. This link is where it can take you to see what gas fees are in real time right now. All right. Minting is when you do a new transaction for a new project. It's called minting. Secret phrase, it's your bank pin. Don't give it away ever. NFTs and tokens, they can be used interchangeably. You might hear them said in the same sentence. Well, tokens are NFTs because non-fungible tokens. So people will say tokens. All right. And then signing is like a transaction, like it's an action within your MetaMask that makes things official. So before you sign something, you always want to make sure what you're looking at, because once you sign it, it makes it official, and that's a done deal. Okay. So things to keep in mind. And last but not least, here we have the index. It shows, all the different resources that we pulled this this session from. I would encourage you to read it. It's from Gary's websites, 1:37 p.m., which is one of Gary's publishing brands. And then we have like some other resources as well. Now, what I'm going to do is go to VeeFriends collection, because I think you're here because you're curious about NFTs and you want to learn how to jump in, and you trust Gary. And by trusting Gary, you probably kind of trust VeeFriends too. And me and Corsa are both from the VeeFriends team, which is Gary's NFT project. So I want to take us here, and we're going to talk a little bit about VeeFriends, right? Just so you might be confused after you leave this. So VeeFriends is Gary's NFT project. The whole collection, the whole ecosystem is called VeeFriends. And VeeFriends Series 1, the Genesis project, launched in May 11th of 2021. So last year, in May. And when we launched that, we had 10,255 NFTs, tokens, right? So they all sold out at this point. And all of them all of them are, can give you access to this conference that Gary's going to host this year in May called VeeCon. If you hold a VeeFriends Series 1 NFT, and they're actually out of price range for the normal human being like us, it's like the floor, I believe, is like $30,000. So it sold, and then like the secondary market really did its thing, and then that's what the demand and the supply of what it costs to be. But Series 1 was the Genesis project. It sold out, 10,255 characters. If you want to buy one of these, they are on OpenSea. So if you clicked on this link within this article, it will take you to OpenSea, and you can then see okay, what's the cheapest Genesis Series 1 VeeFriends. On top of Series 1, you might have heard of Book Games. Book Games was launched in January of this year. It was basically a NFT project that Gary did for his new book called 12 and a half. So during a limited promotion period, Gary said, hey, if you buy 12 of my books, then I will I will give you an NFT when it's all said and done. And he did that. After the book came out, after everyone submitted their receipts for that limited promotion period, he gave people NFTs called Book Games tokens, Book Games NFT tokens, right? So Book Games NFT tokens, the reason why they matter, I will dive deeper into this in a little bit, because I know Omri has a question about this. The last thing that's coming out, at Mint, and that's coming out in a little bit, is this project called VeeFriends Series 2. It's the next project following VeeFriends Series 1. So it's called VeeFriends Series 2. It's dropping in April of 2022 this year. So, a month away, I would say. And then there's different things that we need to learn about it. So I am going to dive a little bit deeper into VeeFriends Series 2, because I have you here, and it's already 9, I'm not working right now. So I'm going to show you, this is an article that's work in progress. It's going to be released in the next 2 days. So I don't mind showing you guys, because, hey, if you're here at 8 p.m., I want to give you the sneak peek of everything. So this is called, with VeeFriends Series 2, this is something you need to know, okay? These are the 4 bullet points that you need to know about VeeFriends Series 2. 1, VeeFriends Series 2 will be priced under 1,000 USD in Ethereum. Okay, so you should have a MetaMask to make these transactions happen. Okay. 2, it's expected to launch in April of 2022. This we all know because we just talked about it. 3, by holding a Book Games token, Okay, by having a book games token, it will act as a ticket that will then, it will act as a raffle ticket. Okay, so if you buy, book games tokens, it acts as a raffle ticket, and then, so what this raffle ticket does is, if you have a winning raffle ticket, if you have a winning book games token, it gets you onto VeeFriends Series 2 friends list. The friends list, what does the friends list do? It gives you 12.5-day early advantage to mint or buy a Series 2 VeeFriends ahead of public sales. Okay, so in order for you to get that early mint, that early purchase ability, you have to own book games tokens. And book games tokens don't guarantee you access to the 12.5-day, but they all act as a raffle ticket to be able to then purchase Series 2 12.5 days in advance of the public sale. Okay, now on top of that, the only way, and this goes back to Series 2. So Series 2 is going to have a mix of some Series 1 characters, and it's going to have 15 brand new Series 2 characters that were created by Gary. Okay, so if you want to mint one of these 15 new characters that are coming out, you can only do so by having book games tokens and burning it for the cost of that new character. Okay, so that was a lot. Like, I just threw so much at you if you knew nothing about what I just said. Okay, so now we're actually going to take the time and actually read this article, digest it a little bit, and then, we can open it up for a Q&A. Okay, so this article is called "The Only Way the only way you get the 15 new characters in Series 2 is by burning book games tokens." Okay, with the launch of VeeFriends Series 2 expected in April of 2022, there's so much excitement around what to expect and how to prepare. Although not much has been revealed, there is one fact that is definite and a must know. The only way you get the 15 new characters in Series 2 is by burning book games tokens. If you're new to the community, VeeFriends Series 1 is the inaugural collection launched back in May of 2021. The collection consists of 10,255 total NFTs that all come with access to a multi-year mega conference called VeeCon. These NFTs vary in rarity, character types, and some provide exclusive access and experiences. VeeFriends Series 2 is a follow-up to Series 1 and will offer a lower entry cost for new holders to join the VeeFriends community. Series 2 will feature some existing VeeFriends characters and 15 brand new characters, all created by Gary. Teasers of the 15 brand new characters were shared by Gary on Twitter and VeeFriends Discord. So it's right here. You can see like bits and pieces of it. These are, 11 of the 15 new characters that he has teased with the community. Okay, the 15 brand new characters in Series 2 can only be purchased through burning different combinations of book games tokens in exchange for them. The combination requirement for new characters has not yet been announced, and there will be no additional cost for new characters in ETH or USD apart from the required book games tokens. Okay, now, Gary says here, you can only pick which ones on, his spelling, like this is his spelling, but you can only pick which ones you want of new characters. However, the other ones that you want to, like the other characters that are not new that you want to mint, you don't get to pick. Okay, that's just like a hint he dropped in Discord. What does it mean? We don't know yet because he hasn't shared more than this. So there's that. Now, in addition to exclusive access to the 15 brand new characters in Series 2, owning book games tokens also act as that raffle ticket for the friends list, which provides the opportunity to mint or buy Series 2 VeeFriends 12.5 days before the public sale. Okay, the selected tickets will not be burned and will only act as a ticket of entry for you to buy Series 2 VeeFriends at displayed mint cost if you have a winning, like Series 2, like book games raffle ticket. Okay, so that's like how you can think of about the book games tokens. Okay, so please know it is not guaranteed that book games tokens will allow you access to the 12.5-day pre-mint for Series 2. It is a random selection and the only way to mint before public sales. Okay, makes sense? All right. And then I go into like the breakdown, like, okay, this is the 4 things that we just talked about. Okay, and then we go the little right hook of like, to keep up with the latest news, please join our Discord because Gary's always dropping hints in there. It's a good idea to be part of it. Okay, so this article will come out soon. I can't give you access to this yet because we haven't published it, but it's coming out soon. But it's all public information that people know, but I think like that was like the most concise way we can say it. All right, so that's it. Now I would love to hear from you guys. Tag us on social, if you want to make a tweet, we would love to hear your feedback. Your feedback is our oxygen. Gary likes to say that, and we like to say it too. So in this presentation that you have access to, if you click on this little Discord link, it shows up the VeeFriends account, but of course we'll drop it here as well. Okay, so if you want to tag us on social, we love that. We'll appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing for now. Okay, great. We covered a lot of stuff. There's 30 of you left. Thank you for staying for this long. Okay, now on the bottom right-hand side of your Zoom call, there's a little reactions. Within reactions, there's a raise hand button. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand. I'll answer it. And if not, then we can end the session. And we'll be back tomorrow at noon. So there's that. Okay, so go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions. No problem. If you don't have any questions, oh, Teresa has a question. Great. All right, Teresa, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to unmute.
Hi, I was having dinner. May I just want to say excellent presentation. That's all I wanted to say. Excellent, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being back. I know this is your first session, so thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Great. Joanne, how can I help?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to piggyback off of that too. May, you did an awesome job presenting. This is really, really useful. I haven't, purchased my first NFT, but this information is really helpful to do so. And so I just wanted to make a point, and not to discredit anything that you said, but
Please.
I know that there are companies like Creatify now that allow people to purchase NFTs with their credit card without having to open a wallet or buy ETH and kind of wait for the wall to open. And even just yesterday, Neon's Marketplace launched an NFT ATM in the financial district in Manhattan, where you can actually buy NFTs via your credit card and debit card. And so just wanted to get your opinion on that, and if you're going to be seeing a lot of functionality out there where you can buy NFTs with your credit card. And if anyone has any questions about Creatify, definitely reach out to me. But yeah, wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, Joanne, great question. I think the world will get there, just because like that's so much easier than what we're doing right now. Like everything I just taught, I feel like in 5 years it might be so different, because like the web, the technology just hasn't caught up yet. I'm not sure in terms of like the NFT projects you can buy with your credit card. I feel like they're more on like layer 2, or they may be on layer 1. But I know the most reputable projects are still going through purchases of Ethereum. So that's just something that I want to note. And I think, it's a great call that you had. But I just don't know if these, I guess like credit card purchasable NFTs are on the same, is it like on the same contract as most of these like reputable projects that still use Ethereum as their main payment.
Thank you for that. Also wanted to know the difference between level 1 and level 2.
Yes, so layer 1 and layer 2, the difference there is like layer 1 is Ethereum mainnet. So like VeeFriends Series 1, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Cool Cats, like a lot of these like reputable projects are done on layer 1, because that's, there's like it's more like superior, because I guess like the technology behind it, they consider it more superior. And maybe Corso can speak more to this, but layer 2 is built on top of layer 1. So layer 2 utilizes Ethereum mainnet technology and utilizes layer 1 to create a secondary layer that's a little bit easier. Like layer 2 doesn't require gas fees, so that's why I say layer 1 requires gas fees. Layer 2 doesn't require gas fees, but it is deemed as like, lesser, just because it's not like it's not the thing. So that's just something that we noticed. And Book Games is launched on layer 2. So Book Games is done through layer 2 immutable X. So if you want to like buy Book Games, whatever, to be part of series 2, like, like the raffle and all that stuff, Book Games is on layer 2. And it was, for 125,000 tokens that we gave out for Book Games, layer 2 was a great option. If you're a creator and you want to like explore, layer 2 immutable X was a great option for us, because it saved a lot of people gas fees, so there was no gas wars, right? So that was nice. But I know reputable projects like to use layer 1 because that's where the tech is at.
Thanks for that.
Thank you. All right, got any other questions? I'm just gonna go ahead and unmute everyone, you know, like it's only like, there's only 30 of us, like, right? So you can unmute yourself if you want to talk. I'll probably head out at like 9:30. I know like we're going like 30 minutes overboard, but I just don't want to take up too much of Corso's night as well. And everyone else here, you know. Cool. All right, what else we got? That's it. Not sure if I can post these, but I just go about this different layers. Yeah, that's a good one. We also have we have an article too. If you go to VeeFriends, let me see what the right website is. If you go to blog.veefriends.com. All right, so if everyone's like, if anyone, sorry, not everyone, if anyone's like, how do I keep up with VeeFriends? Like, there's so much going on, like, May, like, help. So every week on Friday, we put out this thing called a VeeFriends Roundup. It's literally everything you need to know in one single blog post. And they're always launched on like our website right here, blog.veefriends.com. So if you just like go to that, just, you know, bookmark this. Every Friday, we update it with the VeeFriends Roundup. It just gives you the latest and the greatest in the VeeFriends land. So then you don't have to like go search for, hunt down everything, you know, you want to know. Yes. Yes, Teresa.
May,
Yes.
are you guys be covering how to build in utility? And I know you touched on some things last week or the last time we met, and I want to use Gary kind of as a blueprint.
Yeah.
And I think I asked this kind of last week, but how do you build it in a small person? How do we build? We're not going to do VCon. We don't have a,
for sure. Agree.
Who I promise them that builds value, as well as I try to incorporate my story into my NFTs, which
Absolutely.
are me.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one is I would see what people are demanding of you right now. You know, if people are like, Teresa, can I get 15 minutes with you to talk about your expertise? Right? If they're already doing that, then that might be like, okay, like that's a good sign. That might be one of your tiers of utility that you might want to give them. And then like, then you can like think about like, okay, maybe I do tier, you know, 2 tiers just so it's not too complicated. Or maybe you just do 1 tier to start off. But I know, you know, VeeFriends team. So Gary V, like, you know, the Gary V you guys see on the internet, he has Team Gary V. So Team Gary V is like the team behind Gary's, you know, Gary. And bye, S. See you later. All right. So Team Gary V is actually going to put out a NFT deck, like just like what we just did. It's way more detailed. Like they spent a lot of time on that. I'm really excited for you guys to see that when it comes out. But that actually has great examples of how to build utility, Teresa. So I would watch out for that when that comes out.
You know I will. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Cool. So there's a VeeFriends Roundup. And the reason why I was pulling up the blog post is because on the blog post we have a blog post about layer 1 and layer 2. So let me actually just find it so I can just like drop in here, Joanne, and then you can have it as well. Because then you can decide like, is layer 2 worth it to you? No problem. All right, cool. A person create NFTs create value. Damon, can you explain your question a little bit more? I'd love to.
I think I kind of understand his question.
Yes.
Because it is such a difficult thing to create value that, you know, people would want to buy your project.
For sure.
And some projects, you know, they first build their audience with some similar marketing tactics on Twitter where they build their audience. And then once they kind of, you know, they have their outline of what they want to do, typically you don't want to overpromise, but once they have that kind of outline and they start getting sales, that's when they're like, okay, now I can actually create value. And that's where you can think of maybe if you own a token, you know, I'll airdrop you this new art piece. But there's you know, I think a lot of it has to do with who your audience is. So that's something you can get a pulse of if you make a Discord for the community or, you know, reacts to them on Twitter, wherever your community is. But it definitely isn't an easy thing to create value. I think that really goes for like communities as well. So I don't know if there's really like a how to. It's just more of like a, you know, build the community and see, like get a pulse on what do you think they would want. Like if they like your art, let's say you make like brilliant art pieces and they really like your art, maybe they would do want another art piece, and then that's something you could airdrop to all the holders of your art pieces already, something like that.
Yeah. And there's also like a debate in the space, and this is more just like us going philosophical now. There's a debate in the space of like, well, if I'm an artist, what I can give you as utility is my art. I spend so much time on it, like that's what represents me. Like, so there are like, different ways to think about it. Yeah. Cody, please go ahead and unmute.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Good.
Oh, awesome. So my uncle owns a Ayurvedic restaurant here in California, and we're trying to get into the NFT space. And to create value, we're looking at not only the art to make it beautiful to represent the Ayurvedicness of what we're serving and demonstrating, but on top of that, using it as if they own it, they get 10% off of all meals as a membership. And then they can come to the cooking classes and then talk to the chef. And so that's one way of creating value there. Now, on top of it, we have, if they ever sell it, we get some money back from it, the royalty fee of it. And so if a person ever wants to just leave or they're no longer in California, they sell the NFT to the next person. Our business then makes a few dollars here and there. And then the next person enjoys the benefits of it. And so that's what we're trying to incorporate in our small little business.
Yeah, that's sick. That's a great idea. Nice. Good job, Cody. Yes, Teresa.
To piggyback right on Cody, that was good because I think you really kind of simplified it. It probably, while we're thinking, oh, value, what do I build into? You really are talking about it's a type of a membership club, hence Bored Apes. And if you were a member at a gym, you would get these perks. You know what I'm saying? It's almost not like as hard as we're trying to make it. If you were a restaurant, and as you are, then you get these perks. If I am a poet, maybe my NFT art includes an actual custom poem for the owner. And maybe they get one a year on any holiday, or maybe, I don't know, but I think it's unlimited. But when we think value, it's a club. You're building kind of your own club.
Yeah, that's right. That's right on. Yes, Damien.
So could we almost say it's like buying a timeshare and buying the rights into access of that space and a piece of that space?
I can't, I think you're on the right track.
I'm trying to understand as an older person, I guess. Well, I can't believe I'm saying that. How this functions. I can understand digital currency and the need for that, but I'm still trying to understand the need for an NFT.
So to tap into like the timeshare type idea, that is definitely something that, like, are you saying like the timeshare could be part of the utility, or like you're saying just a timeshare as an NFT?
I'm both in a sense.
Sure.
I'm buying a portion of access. I'm buying a portion of something bigger. The previous example of access to the chef in a restaurant and the rights of that. I'm just trying to quantify, how do we create value? How do we create a depth of value that somebody's going to invest in? I'm still trying to digest that.
The good thing about, and Gary talks about this, the good thing about VeeFriends is, like people ask Gary, like, oh, like VeeCon's up in 3 years. Like, what are you, like, does that mean your VeeFriends are valueless? Because like, hey, your conference up, like, what are you gonna do after that? The good thing about these like VeeFriends tokens that Gary created is that you can always add additional value on top. It's not stuck to that initial value that you give it. You can always add it on top, and then it can always be more, and you can always like, change it up. I think what you also have to think about, besides like, hey, how am I giving value, is like, how are you actually creating value in IP? Right? It's like, it goes hand in hand, right? Once you create like some sort of value, you start building an IP around this NFT. And then like, Drew was saying like token gated access, Rich is right. You're gating the access with this token. But then when you start creating the IP of like, Damien's NFT collection, then it's more, then it's like, oh, the word will, like the word of mouth of like, man, Damien's collection is pretty good because the value of it, like he's always trying to add things. He's always just talking to the community and keeping us updated. It's kind of what people want. Like they just want to be part of something and like feel like they're heard and like we're being very transparent too. Or are you like the other thing too, Damien, are you thinking like, why do we even need NFTs? Like, is that also a question of like, isn't this technology just like adding on top of like memberships, is that another?
So I think the very beginning concept of, oh God, I remember exactly it was the concept of like a certificate of the ownership of a home. Like I don't remember exactly the context. So that one to me makes perfect sense. Using the blockchain to record processes and transactions and locking them into a history, and it's solidifying the value of that product. The difficulty for me is coming in and saying, okay, trying to follow the flow of how some of these new transactions are happening. And okay, you have to purchase this, which gives you access to this, then you're burning this to get access to that. Well, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what is unique about an NFT and how people are creating them. And then watching that flow, it spins me out.
I can see that. Yes, Teresa, I see you.
Damien, thank you. Good solid thoughts about how is it solid. But I think I haven't heard very much about the status part of it that Gary talks about a lot. So some of the value that you almost can't see is the inherent, I have a Bored Ape. It's the community. Think of it as a speakeasy. Yes, they had lots of clubs, but the speakeasy people had a different status. They had different access. The whiskey was better. So part of it is that intrinsic, psychological, I got a Damien, and it's the only Damien, and you don't have one. So the status part is part of the utility, and that's something you kind of can't touch. Thank you.
So branding?
Mega on steroids.
So I get that. And that's where I get confused, because then it goes back to kind of like the value of the stock market. What is the value of the stock market? Whatever somebody thinks it is.
I mean, yeah, like
within reason.
Yeah, definitely.
I defer to May.
I mean, I also think like it's not as like heady as we want it to seem. Like, for example, like right now, how do you actually keep track of a membership right now? Right? You keep it on record of like, okay, I'll keep it on the computer. They might have like, I mean, your freaking COVID vaccine card is a freaking flimsy piece of paper, right? So like your COVID vaccine card can actually become an NFT. Then it's just stored on the blockchain forever. You're never going to damage it. Great proof, it'll never go away. It's a, public, everyone can view it. So you think about that. Like, I think it's just like an alternative to what we currently have. And I think it's just like a fair solution to a lot of people to be like, okay, like this might be the best way to digitally store a record or provide, records of membership, to a lot of individuals and have like a good track record.
That I totally get.
Oh, great.
That is like, oh wow, yes, absolutely. Huge value there. I'm still working on the artistic side and the yeah. So it's
yeah. And that's like where it gets like super heady because like everyone's so deep in it, including like myself and Corso, that like, oh, you burn this NFT for that NFT. Like that's more like tokenomics. That's not really like the fundamentals of NFTs. Like some people do sell art and then like it's just like one-to-one, like it's just done, right? It's just like you don't need more NFTs to burn things to then create other things, right? But it's just like how people play with it.
Cool.
I had a question for both you and Nick, but I saw that Nick left. And actually was just curious about, your personal journey. Were you working in NFTs prior to joining VeeFriends? Like, how did you join VeeFriends? And are we able to maybe, directly email you with any further questions as well?
Yeah, sure. You can email me for sure. I'll drop my email if anyone here wants to email me. So I myself, I'm not a big NFT nerd at all. I've been with Gary for the last like 4 years. I've worked next to him. I was on Team Gary. So I did a lot of personal branding for him. And then VeeFriends came around last year, and then this was a challenge that I want to take on. So I became head of community and content here at VeeFriends. I know a decent amount, but I'm not. Good job, Scarlett. Yeah, do the homework. I think you got it. But yeah, I'm not like huge end-to-end. Like Nick, man, Nick should be here, but he knows NFTs. Like he's in it. He he trades it. I have some colleagues that live and breathe it. So if you ever want to catch them, catch Nick's session and also catch Tyler's session. Both of them are very into the trading and being in it and be like, oh, what's the next big project? I don't know, but they know, right? So they're like super into it like that. I'm more just like macro strategy, thinking about it. That's it. Cool.
Sweet.
Sweet. Thank you for your time, everyone. This is great.
Thank you guys. Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Good
Have
night.
a great, yeah.
Good luck.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you guys. See ya.
Bye.